Peace, y'all. It's your girl Morgan Renee Myers checking in. We about to finish this book, The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah, because we got other books to move on to, primarily Feeding the Soul, because that's my business, by Tabitha Brown. And I also would like to dive into Centered, Trading Your Plans for a Life That Matters, written by Jason Brown, former NFL player turned farmer. So, yeah, some books in the works. And I've been on this since like May. I've been so inconsistent. And I was disappointed, but I'm not about to beat myself up. We're back on it. Reading is a passion of mine. I enjoy it. I enjoy coming to you all. And some of you seem to appreciate it too. So, I just got to be more consistent and make time for this with the schedule. So nonetheless, we is wrapping up the book. I read chapter 17 and 18 the other night, and so we about to finish it up. Chapter 19, The Coldest Winter Ever, written by Sister Souljah. At the apartment, I ate, then slept. When I woke up, I left out to go to the drugstore. I purchased some pads for heavy-duty flow. So in the previous chapter, Winter, who was 17, found out that she's pregnant. She went and got an abortion. The guy that she's with, Bullet, he questioned her about her leaving the house, and she lied and said she didn't. But obviously there were signs that she did, and he was mad and stayed in his closet all night and didn't sleep to her when he left out the next day. So she's dealing with the ramifications of just having a baby sucked out of her. So at the apartment, I ate, then slept. When I woke up, I left to go out to the drugstore. I purchased some pads for heavy-duty flow. I cleaned everything up. I checked and rechecked to make sure the apartment had no trace of nothing that happened today or yesterday. As I sat at the kitchen table, I felt down low. I didn't know why. It was like something was pulling me down, making me feel deep depression. It was something I couldn't control. The lower I felt, the more I thought of Daddy. The more I thought of Daddy, the lower I felt. Tears started running down my face. I picked up the telephone. Excuse me, can I have the number for Rikers Island? Thank you. Prisoner information, please. Yes, my father, Ricky Santiago, was incarcerated at your facility almost a year ago. I came to visit him and was told he was shipped out. Is there any way I can find out where they sent him? No, I don't remember his prison number. Yes, I'll hold on. He's on Rikers Island? But the corrections officer told me they moved him out. Oh, they moved him to another building. 23-hour lockup? Can he have visitors? No contact twice a week for only 1 hour only? Tomorrow. I couldn't believe it. My pops was at Rikers all along. The fucking fake cop lied to me. Bullet knew. I knew he knew. The problem is he didn't want me to know. I said I would find out myself. I will visit my daddy tomorrow. Nothing and nobody would stop me. Bullet came through the door quietly that night. I was up. How you doing, baby? I greeted him with a hug. Joey said you went out yesterday for 3 hours. Joey who? Downstairs, the doorman. You know his name? Why is he all in my business? Where were you? Bullet asked, looking dead into my eyes. I went shopping. What did you buy? I didn't see nothing I liked. Are you lying to me? I told you to never lie to me. I went window shopping. It wasn't nothing. I was going to ask you for some money. I just went to look at a few things. Why did you say you didn't go out? He asked. I don't know. It was stupid. I don't know. It won't happen again. I couldn't arrange my words fast enough. Bullet had me all off guard. What won't happen again? You won't go out again? No, I'm saying I'll let you know if I go out and where I'm going. A dick suck cures everything. So I unfastened Bullet's belt, dropped down on my knees, and went to work. I centered myself so he could see my lips sucking and pulling, so he could see my tongue. He needed to know he was the boss. I had no problem with that. When I saw his mouth open wide, a look of pain covered his face, but I knew it was just the ecstasy of him busting in my mouth. He got down on the floor with me and we talked. Baby, you're fucking up my head, he said in a soft tone, the anger removed from his voice. When you fuck up my head, you fuck up my business. I can't let nobody fuck up my business. I ain't doing nothing, Bullet. I swear it's all about you and me. That's it. You think I'm leaving this good dick alone? You crazy. He smiled. This dick is good, ain't it? It's the best. Would you die for me? He asked. Baby, I'd lie for you, ride for you, die for you. But if I die for you, I can't handle more of this good dick. I laughed, feeding his ego. I needed to shift him off of thinking I did something I didn't do. He rolled on his side with another hard on. He began to undo my pants. I'm on my period, I said, trying not to panic. I bent over to lick his balls again. He laid my head. He pulled my head up and said, "A nigga wants pussy. This is my pussy, right?" He questioned. I answered with a nod. A little blood ain't gonna hurt this big dick. He was all up in me. How can I describe the feeling? It wasn't pleasure. It wasn't pain. It wasn't nothing like dick plunging into an ocean. But still, I conjured up some moans for him. I grabbed the Tech 9 out of the small dresser small drawer in the dresser next to the bed. It was early morning. There were crazy noises coming out of the living room. If somebody besides Bullet was in there, they was about to catch a bad one. As I yanked open the bedroom door, standing behind it with the Tech, I heard growling. Not human noises, but like an animal. Walking backwards, I stepped away from the door. I heard running, barking, then howling. Then I heard chains buckling. Motherfucking Bullet had 2 Rottweilers in our no pets allowed building. Vicious looking, no nonsense killer dogs with a chain that allowed them to roam the entire length of the living room and kitchen and 2 feet into our bedroom. Bullet! Bullet! I yelled out at him. Are you home? What the hell's going on? But he wasn't there. I sat on the bed with the Tech debating. Them fucking dogs sat and stared as if all they needed was one miracle to pop the chain and eat my ass alive. I used the bedroom phone to page Bullet. Minutes later, he called back. What's up, baby? Talk fast. What's up with these fucking dogs? My bitches? Yeah, your bitches. Them some loyal bitches. They do whatever I tell them to do. I tell them to sit, they sit. I tell them to stay, they stay. Are you loyal, Winter? You goddamn right I'm loyal, and I'm ready to blast your bitches to pieces. That would be dumb. You would draw attention to yourself. Cops, neighbors, the whole 9. The barking dogs is going to draw attention. I tried to reason with him. If you don't bother them, they won't bark. Just close the bedroom door and stay put. You crazy. I told him hostility. I told him, you crazy, I told him without hostility. Yeah, your pussy smelled funny yesterday. Click, he hung up. What? You knew she was on her period. What the hell? Oh, Lord. I was vexed that I couldn't get out to see Pops. If I missed the 1-hour visit today, I won't be able to visit again for another 4 days. By evening time, that was the least of my worries. I couldn't leave the bedroom, so I couldn't eat. All I had was a bag of Lorna Doone cookies that Bullet had been eating in our bedroom last night. The hungrier I got, the hungrier the dogs got. By midnight, they were growling, and so was I. My stomach was roaring, and the pills that the nurse had given me was wrecking me on my damn near empty belly. That night, Bullet never came in. In the morning, I paged him, but he didn't call back. My mouth was so dry from the Lorna Doone cookies, I started drinking tap water out the bathroom in our bedroom. Child, you know that had to be a hard night. She drinking tap water. For 2 nights and 3 mornings, I was held hostage by the dogs. Finally, Bullet came in with somebody else. I could hear them talking. I listened as he fed the dogs before feeding me. He didn't even open the bedroom door to look in on me first. I wasn't going to open the bedroom door. I was too mad and too weak. A half hour later, the bedroom door opened. He stood in the entrance with a big smile, the same smile that I found so seductive. Where are the dogs? Was the first question I asked. I sent Joey to walk them. What was Joey doing up here? Someone had to clean the dog shit. I'm hungry, I mumbled. Oh, so you remember who feeds you? I never forgot. Good. Bullet carried me off the bed and into the kitchen. He had 2 big breakfast takeout orders ready for me and a large container of orange juice. Bullet ain't shit. I ate without a word. Get dressed. Take a walk with me, Bullet demanded. As I was learning not to resist him, I followed his instructions. When we reached the lobby, Bullet untied the killer Rottweilers from the outside black gate where the frightened but greedy doorman Joey watched from a distance. We walked with the dogs who, in Bullet's presence, somehow turned friendly. Two-faced bitches. I gotta make a run. I'm taking you with me. I smiled because I like to travel, but then I thought about my father and how it's been too long since I've seen him. That's right. If I leave you here, I don't know what you'll get into. I know if I was the next nigga, I'd be willing to die trying to walk to your fine ass. Now, I could leave you with the dogs, he said, petting them like they were pups, but I get the feeling you don't like them. You know I got a kennel full of these babies. They sell for $850 each. I train them in the basement in Brooklyn. They sell like crack. They just cost more. I thought you was going to bounce from Brooklyn, I reminded him. I am, but I'm going to flow from there real natural. No one will notice. I'll just get in my car one day and pull away from the curb and never come back. No moving trucks, nothing. No one will know the difference for a while. I'm sure there'll be some hoes left crying at the curb when you leave, I teased. I don't fuck with them low-class bitches. They all ran through. All your girls is all fucked up, fucked in, fucked out, he laughed. Brooklyn got new hoes coming up. Now all the old bitches are fighting them. Whatever. So where we traveling to? I asked. Baltimore. What you know about that? He said, peering into my eyes again. Not a damn thing. Then why you had a bus ticket to Maryland in your coat pocket when I first picked you up? Damn, I forgot all about that. I forgot about that. I had, what? Damn, I forgot all about that. I had that ticket. As you can see, I never went. Where was you going? He questioned me further. I don't know. Nowhere, I lied. Why you be lying so much, Winter? What? I stalled to arrange my defense in my own head. You was probably going to check that nigga Midnight from Santiago's crew. He was talking. Ooh, you was probably going to check that nigga Midnight from Santiago's crew. He was talking casually about and exploding bombs all at the same time. How you figure that? I played it off. Don't play dumb. I never forget a face. It could cost me my life. I never liked that cat. He was too quiet. Never knew what he was thinking. I watched how he moved. When Santiago's empire started crumbling, that cat just started scaling his shit down. I know some cats who ran up in his spot. They said that nigga didn't have nothing. Just a mattress on the floor, a sheet, toothbrush, and a fucking candle. I mean, no jewels in the place, no money, nothing. Dude didn't even have a phone. It was like he knew they was coming. And the whole team, he was the only one who walks away free and standing. Cat said he was clean, not a fed, snitch, nothing. He had to put all that dough he stacked somewhere. Anyway, my niggas down in the Baltimore area keep an eye on him for me, but ain't nothing popping with him. He ain't pushing no weight. Why you telling me this? I asked as if I didn't care. In case you got any ideas about the trip. That man don't have what it takes to keep you, he warned. I don't want him. Yeah, whatever. So check this out. Let me tell you how we're going to do this. A lot of cats roll south in Benzes, Lexus, and BMWs. They got tent, rims, music blasting, car full of niggas. They getting pulled over by the cops. Point blank. Police search the car. They end up going 10, 15, 20 years. We're going to think smart. First, we're going to rent a car. You'll get it with your credit card. I don't have no credit card. Yeah, it came in the mail for you the other day. I was holding it for you. We'll play the part. I'll dress up, slacks, shoes, dress shirt. You'll rock a conservative dress. We'll play something on the radio like Light FM. What difference does it make what station plays? I could swear the fucking police got some kind of nigger radar. If they hear you pumping hip-hop, you get pulled over. If we get pulled over, we'll both tell the same story. We're in the church. We're on our way to a revival. We sing in the choir. You're fucking crazy, I cracked up. I'm dead serious. You gotta rehearse the small stuff. They'll catch you on technicality. I got a bunch of close call stories. I know how this shit works. Are you scared? I'm not afraid of nothing. I told him the truth. Good. Keep it natural. At the apartment, Bullet made a few calls and finalized arrangements. He came out of his walk-in closet with 3 teddy bears. In the bedroom, he told me what to wear. I changed. He did up like a Sunday school teacher in a suit. Me, him, the dogs, and the teddy bears headed to the car rental spot in his car. At the spot, he pointed out a lady standing out front with a big pink sweater on. He told me to go in, use my credit card and her driver's license. Huh? Hold on. Me, him, and the dogs, the teddy bears, headed to the car rental spot in his car. At the spot, he pointed out a lady standing in front with a big pink sweater on. He told me, go in, use my credit card and her driver's license. She's the driver, you're the payee. But who the hell is she and where did she come from? She's just a chick from around the way who doesn't mind doing a favor for me. I looked at him, then looked at her. She was homely, so I said, okay. He told me to ask for an infant car seat. We rented a Buick LeSabre family car. The Rent-A-Wreck people were just so happy to have a customer. After a while, I understood why Bullet had involved this chick. She was 26 years old. They had all kinds of discounts for people over 25. It seemed he had thought of everything. She drove the rental out of the place. I hopped back in the Lex. She followed us. Now where are we going? Brooklyn. I gotta give the Lex to my man for safekeeping. She's going home. She'll drive the rental to Brooklyn. Me and you, we gotta drop the dogs. Then we hop in the rental and be out. Bullet saw how skeptical I looked at going to Brooklyn. You want to hold the burner, he asked. When we get there, I told him. Something wasn't right. You know how you just get that feeling? As we turned into our old Brooklyn neighborhood block that midday afternoon, it was crowded with fire trucks and emergency vehicles. Maybe we ought to turn around and come back when the commotion dies down, I mentioned to Bullet. It's a 4-hour drive to Baltimore. We got to make good time, he said. We pulled up to a parking space. Donna, the chick with the pink sweater, pulled up and parked the rental behind us. She got out and knocked on the driver's side of the car and handed Bullet the rental keys. She stood crouched over at the window like she was expecting something. He stepped out of the car. I was watching that bitch like a hawk. I saw him slide her a yard. Then she bounced. Bullet reached back in the car and grabbed the dogs. I'll be right back. He was going to drop the dogs off. Are you forgetting something? I asked him, looking dead in his eyes. What? His face was blank. Oh, yeah. He leaned into the car, opened the special compartment, and passed me the 2-2. Keep the doors locked, he ordered. 10 seconds after 10 seconds after he left, a white guy in a car pulled up alongside us. Fire marshal, you have to move this car. I smiled pleasantly and agreed, yet my stomach was like a butterfly cage. I threw the gun under the driver's seat. Then I opened the door, walked around to the driver's side, used the key in the ignition, and started the car. On exactly the opposite side of the curb, I parked. Through the tinted window, I sat and watched as the courtyard filled up with people filing out of the building. The way everything was positioned on an angle, I couldn't get a full view of what was happening, but I saw the smoke. I saw the long water hoses running from the fire truck through the courtyard and toward the building. Now my eye is like a zoom lens. I'm trying to check faces in the crowd so I could be on the offense instead of the defense. Shame and disgust are the only things that could describe my state of mind when I spotted my mama in the crowd. She was wearing purple hot pants in the winter, a red t-shirt, run over Reeboks, and carrying a dirty yellow crochet bag. She was bumping into people in the crowd, pushing them out the way the whole time, staring at the ground, looking for loose change or a vial the way crackheads do. Oh no, I hope she don't come over here, I thought to myself, but she did. When she saw Bullet's legs, she scuttled right on over. She knocked on the window. When she didn't get no response, she started mashing her face against the window to see if anyone was inside. By now, I'm curled up like a snail trying to get as close to the floor as possible. When she got to the window on the passenger side and pressed her face against the window, she saw me. My baby, Winter, is that you? Come out here, girl. When I didn't move, she demanded like she was in charge. Winter Santiago, this is your mother speaking. Get out the car. With my legs tired of being jammed, I crawled back into the seat, but wouldn't open the door. Oh, I know. I got something for you. She started digging in the dirty yellow bag. I'm thinking, there ain't shit in that bag that I want. Just then, I saw Bullet walking back toward the car. His stride was rhythmic, like a leopard. He looked real important in his suit. He was moving swift, but trying to keep it natural, as he would say. When he recognized my mother, he yelled from a distance, Hey, move away from the car. Just then, my mother pulled some dirty envelopes out of her bag. She had a big smile on her face like she was very pleased with herself. Winter, these are letters to you from your father. I've been holding them for you. I didn't know if I would ever see you again. I felt a shock wave shoot through my body. At that split second, those letters became the most important thing in my life. Just as Bullet arrived at the door, I jumped out to get the letters. She don't want that shit. He swatted my mother to the side like she was a fly. I want those letters, Bullet. My father wrote those letters to me, and you can't keep me from having them. He saw the fire in my eyes. Bullet, what you got for me? What you got for me? My mother hopped around like a 3-year-old waiting on a lollipop. I don't got nothing for you, he growled at her while steadily looking in my eyes. Come on, Bullet. We friends. We friends. Tell Winter we friends, Mama said. Give me the letters. I stepped up and extended my hand to my mother. She pulled her arm, securing the letters behind her back, teasing me. You want the letters? She wants the letters. What y'all got for me? You look good, Winter. You look like you got a whole lot of money. Do you owe me some money? What you got for me? My mother sang. I lunged at her. She fell on the ground. I fell on top of her. I grabbed the envelopes out of her weak fingers, clenched into a fist. Bullet lifted my body off the ground and into the air. Go get in the rental. From the look on his face, I knew I had to follow his instructions. I didn't care because I had the letters. He threw a $10 bill on the ground and told Mama, go get what you need somewhere else. She picked it up and disappeared as fast as she came. Bullet placed the teddy bears in the back seat of the rental next to the infant car seat. Don't fucking move, he threatened me. I saw him signal to his man who was standing on a car watching the firefighters put out the fire. His man got in the driver's side of the Lex. Bullet leaned in the passenger door. He put all his guns from the compartment in a carry bag. He walked back and threw the bag in the trunk of the rental. As he returned to the driver's side of the rental, I asked him, Did you get the 22? It's under the driver's seat in your car. His man was pulling off. Bullet trotted in his church suit behind the car to catch up with him. Yo, hold up, man. I didn't even have time to turn my head a little bit. A brick came crashing through the window of the passenger side of the rental. You stupid fucking bitch. You had the nerve to bring your ass back around here. The car door swung open. Simone charged in. With her heavy hands around my neck, her weight was holding me down on the front seat. I started throwing mad punches, swinging at her face, punching her in the eyes to get her off balance. The car was rocking. People started gathering around the car, cheering. I could hear people walking on top of the car roof, the whole nine. Me and Simone still thumping. I bit her. She tore open the top of my dress. Next thing I know, we both fell out the car into the street. We was wrestling. I was using my knee to kick her in the belly, laid out on the ground. She reached her big arm toward the gutter and grabbed a dirty bottle. I tried to shake it out her hand, but she was a big buffalo. She broke the bottle. I caught flashes of the faces in the crowd that now had us pinned in. I saw nasty little Natalie standing there egging Simone on. "Cut the bitch, cut her," she called. Simone kept coming at me. I was lighter on my feet, so I ducked and dodged. For a second, I looked up because I saw Bullet coming through the crowd with a gun in his hand. Just seeing him got me feeling pumped. Now I had superpowers, but Simone took advantage of that split second when I looked away. Her big arm came swinging down, slicing a 7-inch gash on the left side of my face. I felt my face open up. I grabbed my head, and blood was all over my fingers. My face felt hot. It was surrounded with heat. Bullet shot the gun in the air. Everybody started running. Even Simone bounced. Some bold people stood right there and kept watching. "Ah, baby," Bullet said when he saw my face in the blood. He led me to the rental. He sat me down in the car. For seconds, he just kept saying, "Damn, damn, damn." Then, whoop, whoop, police sirens. I could see the red lights bouncing in the rearview mirror as the police cars ripped down the street. Bullet closed the passenger door and ran around to drive the car. Suckers in the crowd pointed out our car out to the police. That wasn't as shocking as me watching Bullet walk past the driver's side, past the car, onto the sidewalk and down the street like he had nothing to do with it. I opened the door on my side and tried to get out, but the cops was up on me. "What? That's crazy." So wait, he sat me down, then the police showed up. Bullet closed the passenger door and ran around to drive the car. Suckers in the crowd pointed our car out to the police. That wasn't as shocking as me watching Bullet walk past the driver's side, past the car, onto the sidewalk, and down the street like he had nothing to do with it. I opened the door on my side and tried to get out, but the cops was up on me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 2,555 days later, I checked. Dang, 2,555 days later, I checked the calendar on my wall. I had 2,920 days left to serve on a mandatory 15-year prison sentence. What? But this particular day was special. What made this day special was simply that it would be different than the rest. In 15 minutes, I will be walking out of this cell, down the corridor, and out the doors to attend my mother's funeral. She had died suddenly, whatever that means, because she was dying all along. Some type of blood clot to the brain. And since mothers are so important, I was about to enjoy the only legitimate method of leaving this institution before a prisoner's time is served. Of course, I will be chained at the feet and at the wrists. I will be escorted around like a preschooler. I will be returned to this cell within hours. Then the routine will resume. But at the age of 25 in the 21st century, a small trip to the graveyard was about as much excitement as I was going to get. Dang, so she was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Dang, so 8 years had already passed. Because I was going to get a few hours outside of these walls, I was like a superstar. Everybody in here wanted me to be sure to tell them everything and everybody I saw outside as soon as I returned. Other than people's relatives, there was no real way for us to know what was going on outside. Even relatives were hard to come by. Who really wants to take an almost 8-hour trek out to this joint, which damn near sits in Canada? In my 7 years served, I never received one visit. I had to work several hustles to keep my commissary in livable condition. Then, of course, there were always the suckers who could be shook down if things got too bleak. Fighting didn't mean nothing to me now. There was no nervousness or nothing. I just did whatever was necessary. There ain't no special clothes or fashion in here. When I first came, I tried to make myself stand out the way I always did. But after a while, you figure, what the fuck for? You can't get no dick. I don't want no pussy. There's no one to impress here except these broke down broads. Every now and then, I do hair for cigarettes or stamps or cookies. But most of the time, I keep my own hair braided. It's so long that bitches get jealous. I have to braid it, then roll it up, tuck the ends under just to not have extra beef. But me, Natalie, Zakia, Shantae, and a bunch of Brooklyn girls got a crew up in here. We got little names for ourselves. Even Simone's trying to be down with us for her own protection. She finally stopped blaming me for the death of her daughter, or at least she puts up a good front. But that's how it goes in here. There's all kind of strange alliances. Everybody got drug-related charges stemming from their own little situations, but we wasn't nothing but the girlfriends to niggas moving weight. Sometimes when we be playing cards and listening to the radio, it's almost like we at home. I got enough family and friends on the inside. That's why I don't get no visits. Everybody's already here. Damn. As far as mail goes, I get letters from Santiago. That's it. We just always going to be close like that. I still got the letters from that wild day in Brooklyn. That day plays over and over in my head. I calculated about 263 what ifs. What if I had done this? What if I had done that? What really blew my mind was finally reading Santiago's letters while I was in the holding cell the night of my arrest. He admitted killing 2 dudes in prisons. Both of them was my mother's brothers who used to work for him. But he broke it down so I could understand it. He just had a justifiable hatred for weak men, and there's nothing worse than a snitch. He told me he knew he was never coming home. He was right. It turned out he got 2 consecutive life sentences with no chance of parole. The crazy shit was, he gave me Dolce Tristamente's phone number in those letters. He told me to call her because he didn't want any more money wasted on his trial. He instructed her that I would be calling. She was to meet me and hand over $50,000. There was only one condition. I had to get my mother and place her in a rehab. He even gave me the name of the place. That's what he had wanted Midnight to take care of. After collecting the money, I had to promise to take care of my mom's after she came out of rehab. But I wasn't supposed to mention to Dolce what I was going to do with the cash. I called that bitch Dolce collect from the jailhouse. Once she found out I was incarcerated, she changed her phone number and never passed off the money. That hoe was living lovely. If she was supposed to give me $50,000, imagine how much she had stashed for herself. That's neither here nor there. I don't even think of getting out. I take one day at a time, the 8 years I have left. I cross out each day as I survive it. I know I'm not guaranteed to see the next day or the outside ever again. It's not like I miss anybody other than my daddy anyway. 2 guards came to get me. Santiago, let's go. Keep it moving. I walked on the right side of the corridor, on the inside of the white line, the way we were trained to do. They took me into a room I had been in hundreds of times before. I stripped naked. Naked wasn't nothing to me. I done seen thousands of breasts and hundreds of asses by this time. It was almost the same as seeing somebody fully clothed. In the beginning, I would try to cover myself up, but surprise searches in the middle of the night would have 60 chicks standing side by side, butt naked, and squatting for a rectal inspection. We were naked in the wallless shower, naked in the beam, naked. It meant nothing. Dressed in a jail jumpsuit and an army jacket with an officer in front of me and an officer in back of me, I proceeded down the hallway and out of a series of automated doors. My prison number was checked and rechecked at each checkpoint as if they didn't know who I was already. Hell, I'm here every day. Once outside of the building, I was placed in a van with bars on the windows and driven across the facility where snipers and officers were stationed every couple of yards, 24 hours a day. When we passed the last checkpoint, my way of breathing changed. It might be hard to believe, but the air in prison is different. There's like 1,000 people sucking on the one little piece of fresh air until it turns stale. Then you all suck in recycled oxygen and bad breath. In the van, I could feel the breeze. I could even smell the trees, the sap, the flowers in the spring air as we drove down the road headed to the airport. I stuck my face up against the window bars. The sun in my face was a luxury. Because of the way my cell was situated in the building, I rarely got any sunlight. The airplane offered more magazine selections than we were entitled to inside. The officers, who pretty much know my style, were relaxed. They had no reason not to be. I was chained to my airline seat. I peeped people trying to glance over at me. It wasn't easy for them to get a good view because I was seated in the middle chair in between 2 guards. I looked right back at them, though. I was checking out shoes, watches, jewelry, dresses, just so I could tell the girls on the inside what was up. When food time came, I got filled up on aroma alone. 3 choices of food were offered. That's 2 more choices than I'm used to having. My nose was so keen now, I knew what they were serving before the stewardess read off the selections. When we got to the city, I was placed in a prison vehicle. New York street sounds brought back memories of so many things, mostly memories of freedom. Being able to go to the store or the movies, getting fucked in a parked car by the river or in the grass or the back stairs. My eyes checked the cars, the updated series and models. I noticed new hairdos, new buildings that weren't there before. As I rode in the back of one of those prison vehicles, the car with the metal gate separating the officers from the convicts, I saw people looking. It seemed like they were wondering what I did. I wanted to tell them nothing. I didn't do shit. I'm doing 15 years for having a bad attitude. That's what it boils down to. Sure, I rented a car that was being used to transport guns and cocaine, but they wasn't my drugs. They wasn't my guns. But since I was sitting in the car I rented with the stuff concealed inside the teddy bears in the back seat, they considered me guilty. I'm a conspirator for renting the apartment me and Bullet lived in. I'm a conspirator because guns discovered had bodies on them, people I didn't kill. Some of them I didn't even know. Now, you tell me, how can I be involved in a conspiracy when nobody else involved in the conspiracy was convicted or nothing? They wanted Bullet, but I wouldn't help them. The name is Souljah. We don't snitch. Besides, even if I was a rat, it wouldn't matter. That nigga Bullet had it all figured out. His name wasn't on nothing. He wasn't caught doing nothing. Joey the doorman disappeared before the cops could get to him. There was nobody to testify against him about shit. When Natalie got sent up here 1 year after me for just riding in a car with a nigga with contraband, she told me to deal with Bullet. Now he has a bootleg tape business. He got all the rappers shook, be stealing their music and selling it on the street before the record companies could. He's got a legit record store that he sells the tapes out of, and he's paid out the ass. The graveyard was located in Queens. When we pulled up, all I could see were the backs of about 4 men. As we came into closer range, I saw that 3 of the men were armed and wearing bulletproof vests. The 2 officers with me greeted the 3 officers with Souljah, my father, who I had not laid eyes on in 8 years. As soon as he turned to greet me, the tears came gushing out of my eyes. After so many years with no tears at all, I couldn't stop them from falling. Souljah gestured slightly like he wanted to hug me, but his hands were chained and so were mine. "What's up, baby girl?" he asked in a low tone. There was no privacy. Any emotion shared here was a group thing. We were being watched like a motion picture. "Hey, Daddy," I whispered, admiring how handsome he still looked. His tall frame still sturdy, filled out and masculine. "You're beautiful," he said, looking into my face in a concentrated way. I cried more because I knew how hideous the scar on my face was. I had stopped bothering with the mirror about 5 years ago. "Even with the scar," he added, as if he could read my thoughts, "you're still the prettiest girl in the world." The old white priest cleared his throat. All 6 of us, me, Daddy, the guard, stepped up to the open casket to take the last look of Mama we would ever have. When Souljah looked in, he broke down. He broke down so bad he fell to his knees. "Who is that? Who is that in the box? That's not my wife." The guards prodded him to stand back up. Both Daddy and me tried to collect ourselves. Seconds later, some more people wandered over to where we were. We didn't know them. We assumed they were looking for another plot. As 2 of the guards moved to inquire, words were exchanged, and they allowed them to pass on to our way. For the first time in many years, I became self-conscious. I felt ugly. I wanted to fix myself. I wanted to rip off these clothes and tear out these braids, comb my hair or something. It was midnight. He was tall, black, and regal. He looked more amazing than I remember him being. Instantly, I felt jealous of the women with him. It was a piece of me that was dead, that was somehow coming to life again. My eyes locked in on their faces for an immediate comparison. It's funny. The girls' faces were familiar, but I could not place them. Then an alarm went off within me. Lexi and Mercedes, the twins, my sisters. They had to be at least 15 years old now. They were so soft and delicate and different. Their eyes were different. Midnight approached Souljah first. He hugged him, which the guards allowed. Then he presented Lexi and Mercedes like they were strangers in an initial meeting. They talked to Daddy in a formal way, not like daughters. They spoke to me with sympathy and distance in their voices. Everything that needed to be said was not being said. Midnight did most of the talking. Like old times, he reported to Souljah on the status of things. It was about Souljah's daughters. I turned away from them. I didn't want Midnight looking at me. Just as the priest started going through the motions, a big black 600 series Mercedes-Benz with black tinted windows pulled up on the pavement. It had been moving at a high speed, so it stopped with an abrupt jerk, alarming the guards who had already assumed the shooting position. They called out for the person to identify himself, but the music coming from the vehicle was so loud, I was sure the people inside could not hear anything else. As the door opened, a model type of girl, straight out of the pages of a high-fashion magazine, stepped out of the car, dressed in a white Versace slinky dress, odd color for a funeral, and white Dolce & Gabbana leather stilettos. She was obviously paid out the ass. I still couldn't see her face behind the sunglasses. Stepping carefully on the new, soft spring grass, she came right over to me. "What's up, Winter?" She smiled wide and pulled off her sunglasses. It was Porsche, my sister. She was alone, pushing a whip it would take the U.S. president's salary to pay for. She hugged me. She kissed Daddy. She waved at Midnight, Lexi, Mercedes, and the 2 women with him. She stepped up and looked into my mother's coffin for all of 3 seconds. She stepped back, grabbed my arm, and leaned inward to talk privately with me. The guard signaled for her to back up. "Damn," she screamed on the guard. "Can't I talk to my sister without you being all up my ass?" So they let her talk. I couldn't believe how she chumped them. I wanted to come and check you, girl, she said, chomping on some bubble gum, but you was just too far away. Tell me what you need. Whatever it is, I can get it for you. Whose fucking whip is that? I asked, amazed. Buster's, she responded. I raised my eyebrows like, who that? It's a long story, she said, waving her hand in the air like it wasn't nothing. What's up with Lexi and Mercedes? I asked her, almost at a whisper. Midnight adopted them. They are religious and whatnot. They be wanting to tell somebody how to live their own motherfucking life. That's his wife right there. She ain't all that. I look better than she do. Who's the other girl? I asked. She's his sister. They live out in Maryland. Midnight owns a barbershop. Can you believe it? She said, chuckling. So what do you do? Where do you live now? I asked her cautiously. Oh, I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We stay over there by Central Park in Manhattan, she said casually. We who? She asked. Me and Buster. She said it like I should have known already. Oh. Now I took a good look at Portia. She was perfect. Her hair was perfect. Her legs were perfect. Her clothes were perfect. But I wanted to warn her about certain things in life. Usually I'm not at a loss for words, but I didn't feel good enough to tell her what I really thought. I knew what she would think. Winter, you're just saying that because you're in jail. Winter, you're just saying that because you're old. Winter, you're just saying that because you're ugly. Winter, you're just saying that because you're jealous. So instead of saying what I had learned, what was on the tip of my tongue, I said nothing at all. Hell, I'm not into meddling in other people's business. I definitely don't be making no speeches. Fuck it. She'll learn for herself. That's just the way it is. And that is the end of the book. This Coldest one is special collector's edition reader's guide. So I'm not going to do this, but she got top 10 questions. And the author goes through and is answering the questions and stuff. She got character analysis and all of that. That sounds really interesting. Well, I'm happy to be done with this book. I've been on this book since May for real. Like, September 26th, we did it, baby. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you're catching this on Facebook, it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube as well. Make sure you're following that channel. It's my name, Morgan Myers. You'll see the red logo with the yellow M for more of my edutainment group, my company. And so this is going to be the next book that we're getting into, Feeding the Soul, because it's my business, Finding Our Way to Joy, Love, and Freedom by Tabitha Brown. And I might do 2 books at one time because I really want to get into this book as well, Centered, Trading Your Plans for a Life That Matters by Jason Brown, former NFL player turned farmer. So I'm excited for these reads, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. Story time with more of my. Hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Peace, love, and light.